I don't know what part of it's more important. Obviously, the cards are more important, but just a heads up, I'm seemingly tongue-tied this morning. I don't know what that's about. I just got done doing not a live, Google interpretation of the live we did yesterday. All the cards are in here. I've realized that I've lost a whole set of cards. So if the one card comes up, I don't think I'm going to have the angels to confirm or to tell us what kind of hierarchy is around us today. And I don't understand where those went. But, you know how things go around here. Anyways. We've got vomit, the deep waves. Someone could be sick about how deep things actually have gone. We've got the chameleon in trying to hide something or trying to blend something or trying to dismiss somebody's gifts. Whether those be inherited gifts as far as the lineage and spiritual or physical gifts. Somebody was supposed to receive something that didn't receive it. Or somebody's gifts were being hidden because someone didn't want someone to be seen as who they are. They were probably being gaslit to the point of dis-ease with the vomit. Someone was obviously projectiling their own feelings and emotions onto this person for whatever reason. My mind just had a thought of it was probably someone's ex. And this someone probably inherited something from this ex's parent for whatever reason when they passed. And the ex didn't want that person to have it. It's like, you know how you look back on things and you're like, oh, well, that's why they did that. And you get the pieces together, little different pieces of things that you never really understood why it was so important at the time. But then now you're like, oh, is that why? I don't know why I'm feeling like I need to say this, but I mean, as far as my ex is concerned, he actually broke into my garage. Well, allegedly broke into my garage and stole the little photo albums I had made for my kids. You know, people did the whole scrapbooking thing with the photos. Well, those disappeared, and somehow photos of him and I were left behind. Mostly just of him. Again, allegedly it was him who did that. I mean, wouldn't you conclude the same thing if only pictures of that individual were left behind? Also, don't know why I need to feel the need to say that we were never exclusive, as we never had the exclusivity talk. So, I don't know, folks. I'm hoping to get some different cards here in this read today. I know it was a little TMI, but you know when you're felt led to say certain things, we've got a jackass here, then you just should just say it. This person was very persuasive, this one. We've got the bob haircut. They come across as very conservative, yet manipulative and a bit narcissistic. I mean, that's how narcissism works anyway, right? They come across as very upright and conservative and whatnot to the public, but when they get home, they're not that same person. Or they don't display their emotions at home in the same way. But we're not here for a psychology lesson, are we? Well, I guess they all kind of end up being psychology lessons. We've got a ring here. Someone made a commitment to something. It was probably a relationship of significance, of which mine was. It was an on and off relationship for about 13 years of time. This card caught my eye is reading the back of Feather. Usually it's a spiritual journey and some kind of, as we were talking, spiritual lesson involved. You just don't really understand or know what things are doing or why they are the way they are until later. It's like you find out later. Just like biblically speaking, a lot of times things just don't make sense until later. And you're like, oh, that's why. That's why you don't question the process. Just go with the flow of it. You know, be respectful to yourself and everyone who's around you. And eventually you'll know. You'll figure it out. You got the bob haircut coming out again. Be conservative. Someone around you is being conservative. We've got the umbrella. Being protected from the elements. We'll see if it has anything to do with maybe an umbrella corporation being involved. Someone could be crying. We've got It's a Wrap. Also a mom card. Could have something to do with Eastern traditions. We've got our little... Seriously? Wow. I can't even think of her name. Nefertiti? That's something. It's a wrap, folks. It is a wrap. Maybe the end of the tears. Maybe the end of being protected for that individual. Parade. Time to celebrate. Observe the festivities. Sit and relax while everything walks on by. And we've got the ring coming out here again. And that donkey's coming out again. Isn't that something? Someone was really staying stubborn in this operation that they had committed to. Or someone could be stubborn in their commitment. They're wanting to celebrate. Mermaid. They could have been doing this to someone who was a mermaid. Maybe they felt like this person was a little bit larger than life. Fish always adapt to their surroundings, to their environment. This mermaid was able to see things that others may not have seen. Candy. The mermaid's super sweet. Perhaps this person tried to sugarcoat a lot of stuff when they were talking about the mermaid. They were stubborn in doing that. In trying to create a situation that, you know, seemed one way, but in the end was quite toxic. I mean, Candy's great in moderation, but if you have too much, it wreaks havoc. We've got a moth. They are also very destructive. I'm hearing moth to a flame burned by the fire. Considering we're putting it right next to the fire, that's interesting. We've got the frizzy hair. In some cases, no matter what you do, your hair is going to end up getting frizzy just because that's what the environment is calling for. Also can be unkept. Needs moisturizing, needs tending to. The moth usually does show up when around the deceased. It's like a night butterfly, right? We've got vomit coming out again. A dash, a moment in time. A range of time. Or if you're going to go with the word dash, it's like a mad dash to the end. Could be a period of time where there was a commitment. We've got this key coming out again. That fragment of time is the key to this whole situation. And if we're going to discuss what I had brought up while we were doing the shuffle, that would make sense. I haven't had any interaction with this individual since, when was that? 2022-ish, I think this individual came into my job. I think they came in twice. What a web we weave. What is normal everyday behavior for one is chaos for another. Considering the spider web is right underneath this mermaid, the mermaid, they were obviously trying to trap this mermaid into this web. And the whole construction of this web is partly the key as well. It's like, why would this person do it? Well, you know why. The people involved know why, unless they're in such denial that they're completely lying to themselves. It could have been a situation of passion. Again, with the candy being destructive. This person, as I said, with the narcissism, they come across as super sweet people. Right? Conservative and sweet, yet very destructive. Passions. A passionate web. We've got pop and soda pop. This is one of my new cards. I didn't even write the date on there. I'm trying to write the date on the cards of when they were created, just because I think that would be kind of cute to have. Soda pop. Something's about to pop. Considering we got it pretty darn close to this fizzy, to the frizz hairdo card. That's interesting because, you know, soda pop is fizzy. When pigs fly. Something unbelievable that you thought would never happen in a million years. Maybe someone's agreeing to it now. It's coming to fruition. It's something that is quite possible. And it's here with the hamster wheel. Day in and day out. So there could be maybe someone was trying to explain to other people what it is that they're feeling that is happening around them. I know that's been a place where I've been, where literally I feel like there was some kind of something going on around. that felt very destructive. It's like you can't really put your finger on it, right? I know there's some moths that you touch them and they just disintegrate. You can't really put your finger on it, but you know that there's something wrong, and you know that there's something like some kind of mess going on. Something a little bit out of control. Again, you can't put your finger on it. And when you talk about the details of what you're feeling or what you're thinking is going on, that makes it's very upsetting. It's very confining. Someone's trying to preserve their own feelings throughout the whole ordeal, while perhaps someone could be seeing someone as parading themselves around. You try to explain what it is that you're experiencing or feeling, but then it's like other people say, no, there's no way. You're thinking too much into it. There's no way that something like that would happen. You're just being paranoid. That's not what's going on. Or they'll tell you, don't focus on that. Because when you focus on those kind of details or those kinds of things, then you attract it to you. So don't even talk about those kinds of things, because you're going to make them real. Like the person who's having these feelings, like it's not real. I mean, yes, there are people who have mental situations where they are in a state of paranoia, yes. But there are some people who have the intuition and they can feel things around them and they know when something is off. And this mermaid was stubborn in respecting their intuition, staying committed to their intuition, with the two same color themes going on there, and the donkey being black and white. It was very clear to the mermaid. Has to do with some kind of clubs, fraternities, elite, sororities. Could even be like a motorcycle club, people that go to the golf course in order to discuss matters. Groups of wealth, considering it's not cheap to go to a country club or to play golf. Takes strategy, focus. If you don't hit the ball just right, you end up either in the sand or you end up in the big pond or water. You've got to get that ball in the green. And if you can get a hole in one try, that's a bonus. You also keep your golf clubs covered, right? To keep them protected. So these kinds of group keep themselves protected by each other. Think about how many different clubs there are in the world. And think about all the participants and attendees in these different clubs, how many other clubs that they're in, and how many people they can network, like a ring, an umbrella operation, to keep them protected from the elements. Let's just say that someone grew up in a club at a university, and then let's just say this person also had maybe an addiction to candy and soda, to sweets. And maybe they participated in some kind of, maybe it's an eating, Overeaters Anonymous. Or let's just say there's an Unhealthy Eating Anonymous club. So not only are they in this university club, but they're in this kind of other substance abuse club. And then now this person is networking with all of those people in the substance abuse club, and maybe this person is also attending religious services. So not only are they in those two clubs, but now they go to a community, a church community, where they also know a bunch of people, so on and so forth. So each person in that club, the original club, all have these different connections within that Imagine the group of people that you could get involved in creating a web of sorts. And imagine if the person that they are creating this web of sorts is completely innocent and a sweetheart, did nothing wrong to this person other than exist. And because of the way this person perceives things or transfers responsibility, projectiling their own feelings and emotions about whatever had happened in the situation, regardless of how this other person tried to take care of it, it still became disruptive in this person's mind. And people are telling this innocent person who's a sweetheart, oh, come on, you're just making things up. There's no way that that would happen. Come on, how could someone even do that? Well, that's how they do that. They take this fragment of time, share that fragment of time with multitudes of people who then know multiples of people. And because this person appears to be conservative and they appear to have it all together and they appear to just be mindful of what you hear. If you don't know the subject, the person of the subject matter, and you're being asked to assist in something, make sure you know the subject matter and the person. I mean, it's great when people want to rally together and help out, but it's also very detrimental, and all of that is coming to the surface. It's all being exposed. You add layer and layer and layer, and it causes the destruction. When someone is just mindfully just living their life, minding their own business, someone is taken care of. We've got the number 9, the end of a cycle. Is there any other meaning? Lesson learned. Lesson learned about this spider web we weave. Trying again. Scene 1, take 1. This person could be, could know people in the field of acting. Let's try the scene again. Let's do this again, please. Uncovering the lesson, but we're trying again. So does it mean that this person has learned the lesson and they're going to try to make amends again? Or are they literally going to try to do the same thing all over again and hoping for a different result? We've got belly rubs, a state of vulnerability. An animal will never show you their belly unless they're comfortable with you. Could it be that this person's going to say that they uncovered the error of their ways and they've learned the lesson and they're going to come back in and try it again with you and show you their vulnerable side? I don't know. They're just going to pop up probably at night. Super attracted to you. Interestingly enough, I just noticed the moth to the flame. And you're saying never in a million years will I take this person back. We've got skunks ready to protect themselves and trying to show that, you know what, we may be vulnerable, cute little animals, but we know how to protect ourselves. Radioactivity, depending on how someone responds in the situation, is the difference between outcomes. This person may come in while you're vulnerable. They could be bringing some kind of radioactivity or sickness to someone's home. Considering we've got the sickness there. They may come during a time where you're distracted doing something else. Busy bee. These clubs have been very busy. Can you see the busy bee? No, you can't even see the third row. Well, that's a bummer. We've got the clubs, the zipper, the number 9. Try again. It's not all the way done yet. Just penciled in. Belly rubs, just a really rough sketch. Skunks. And the roughness of the radioactivity. I wish I could see the comments, you guys, in the conversations. I apologize. We've got the busy bee happening here. Also just a sketch. I'm hoping to get into some coloring here soon. I need to take a day off. I did take Sunday off. It was not planned, but it was sure nice. So then I don't think I can take another day off here for a little minute. We've got our busy bee. I got so distracted. I'll show you the cards before I put them down. Hopefully I remember to do so. We've got the bottom of the ocean. It's just the words. Okay, so there's someone quite busy trying to show how deep this really goes. Bottom of the ocean is, again, scary for some, but the ones that are meant to live there, they're quite comfortable. And that can go with the different realms of life. People who are comfortable living in the darkness, living at the bottom, living in a place where there is scarcity or darkness. They're comfortable there because that's all they've known, perhaps. But clearly there is something of the being discovered here about this darkness, of the stubborn darkness this person holds. We've got, I'm rubber, you're glue, what you say bounces off of me and sticks to you. So someone is not even really phased at this point about what this person is doing. Clearly it's underneath the spider web and a lesson learned. This person, the mermaid, through it all has probably learned how to kind of adapt or deal with those kinds of situations now, because they're just like, you know what, do what you gotta do. They've learned how to get through all of this. This is also the same thing, all of these things that have been said about this individual, they're seeing that it's coming from a place of darkness and stubbornness because it's being uncovered and unlocked. They're seeing that that is. They're seeing the dash of time of what created this whole scenario in the first place. It's all being discovered. Someone's tuning it out with the headphones, keeping themselves distracted, blocking the noise. Listening to their inner self, perhaps blocking the external noise. I think I just said that. Maybe someone's able to now just kind of block out whatever's going on around them to the point where it just doesn't even affect them anymore, and they just stay in their sweet self-centered self. Like, life ain't it grand, even though the world might be burning down around them. Metaphorically, of course. Because this person keeps doing the same thing over and over again. It's just another day for this person. This other person, I don't want to say victim of this person's wrath, because they're quite strong and they're quite brave and they're quite a warrior in their own right. Has found ways to cope and deal with the chaos. And they don't take it personally anymore. They've learned that lesson. Remember, what's chaos for one is actually just a way of life for another. The evil eye underneath this belly rubs. This person who's doing all of these things to this individual is upset and angry that this person still remains in a state of vulnerability. They keep their heart pure. They go on about their business. Or this person, because of their jealousy, as I said before, may show up in a place where someone is very vulnerable, and it could be at night. They're just going to pop up. So be mindful that if you are around or out and about during the nighttime, do not wear headphones. Just stay alert. Scene 1. What is it? Act 1, Scene 1. They're going to be trying a gun. Could be time to pack, store, and move to protect yourself. Or maybe they're wanting you to pack, store, and move so that they can show up at your new environment, because maybe they've been made out in your current environment. And maybe you shared the story with your current environment of where you live to the community around you. So all those people are also aware of what's going on. And even though they said, that could never happen, you're just thinking too much into it, you just need to stop thinking that way. Well, now that they're aware of it, of this sick behavior, should anything go down, they're going to already know. And they're going to realize that things like that come out of the darkness really do happen, folks. Even if it sounds absurd and ridiculous. We've got the vampire bat. As scary as the vampire bat is, it means really great things in other cultures. The vampire bat is about intuition and sensitivity, highly social, trust your inner voice and your instincts, just like we were talking about with those headphones. Navigating through the unknown, transformation, guiding through personal change, the ability to move through fear and uncertainty with confidence. In the Chinese culture, it has a symbolism of extreme good fortune, happiness, and longevity. It represents the 5 blessings. Facing and letting go of fear. Letting go of those patterns that no longer serve your growth. Toxic living environment with the sickness. Vampire bats are usually more active at night. So just be mindful when you're out and about. That could be what the move card is too, while you're moving around through the night. Our outcome card is our submarine card. There is something below the surface. This is also my Pisces card. Do I have, oh, the number 9 could symbolize something about September as well. I don't have any other astrological signs here other than the fire signs. I mean, we've got the mermaid, so it could be a water sign with, as far as, you know, the Pisces here too, confirming that. And then we do have when pigs fly, which is air, and then we've also got the vampire bat, which is air, and then the bees, which is air, I guess, and the clubs, when you play golf, that's out in the air. But I mean, that could be pushing it all, because then we could say that the clubs is also earth, you know what I mean? So take with it with what you'd like. We've got curly hair, something a little bit unruly, twists and turns. Someone with curly hair could be involved in this outcome. And then we've got nutrition, vitamins, and essential oils. So something healthy should be coming out of all of this. Or you need to start eating a little bit more healthy. Keep in mind with your essential oils, if you do use them, they can, again, with the what's good for one is toxic for another. Essential oils can be toxic to infants. They can be toxic to animals. You just have to look them up. What's not toxic to cats is actually toxic to dogs, vice versa. Some can be toxic while you're pregnant. Some can be toxic to people who have seizures. So just do your research if you are into that. But there's something that goes under the surface and that runs pretty darn deep, and it's coming to the surface. A whole list of things. And you know how I get with these cards. If I keep looking at them, I'm going to keep pulling one. So I'm going to put those down. Tired of seeing that V card. Maybe someone comes across as being innocent, as we mentioned in the beginning. Someone could even be saying that they're married to somebody when they're not married to someone, and they're stubborn in that. Controlling, upside down, trying again. Not trying again. So now we've got money on the bottom. This could have something all to do with money. We have trying again and not trying again, both coming out around this learning the lesson. So maybe this person goes back and forth whether they've learned the lesson and they're going to try again anyway. Maybe they're not going to try again next month, like they're just done and over with it already. Maybe they've learned the lesson and they've excused themselves from the situation, but they forgot to tell everybody in the clubs, and because so many people were involved in the clubs that some people haven't gotten the message yet. And so of course now they're still doing what they were doing, and now this whole thing is out of control. Well, now what are you going to do? It's kind of like sorry, not sorry. And it's so out of control. Better make it right, though. That's all I can say. On the flip side, when it has to do with this mermaid, how the mermaid kind of learned how to live through all of this kind of chaos and kind of learned how to adapt through it all, unfortunately, that now it's just a part of their life and who they are as far as paying attention to what's around them, being mindful of all situations. It's just their second nature now. They don't even have to try. And they're in a place where they don't try to control anyone or anything. They just go with the flow of things, considering That's the best way to adapt and to make it through life, is to be able to adapt. Adaptability. You pretty much learn you have no control in any situation. Okay, we've got an Aquarius card, friendship, compromise. I'm getting a cramp in my foot. Underwater, which is the theme, and someone is not appearing as quirky as they once were. They're not as strange. Things are not as strange as the stories they're hearing. They're realizing they're not really strange. They're actually very believable at this point. There's an Aquarius here who compromised their friendships. We had the S coming out. First, middle, or last name, initial S came up on top. If any of these words catch your eye, then they could have something to do with you. They could pertain to your situation. I'm going to flip them over and see if anything new comes out. Aquarius comes out a lot in these stories, and they're like a huge player in all of this. It could also be the time frame of Aquarius, and I'm not real sure when that is. They want you to kind of slow down so you can receive. Hey Google, when is the birth range of the Aquarius sun sign?
The typical birth range for the Aquarius sun sign is from about January 20th to February 18th.
Okay, so it could pertain to some time around that. We've got binge and single. So someone could be chronically single or trying to keep this mermaid chronically single. They probably feel that they had a better chance at controlling the scenario and situation if this mermaid was single. Granted, if you're with someone, then you've got another person to kind of help you deal with everything that goes on. But this mermaid has dealt with everything on their own, which forced them to learn how to deal with the situation the best way that they could, and that was just, as we mentioned before. We've got information being the last card there. As long as you're informed about your situation, it really doesn't matter what's going on around you. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Just make people aware, so that way, as I said, if should anything happen or come up, then at least they have that information about it. We've got forgive coming out right over this friendship and the compromise of the friendship. We have time here on top of zipper. It's just a matter of time. Enchanting over the not trying again and the not controlling. This person is really trying to come across like they have nothing to do with this whole situation. They were never involved. They have, no, as I said, they have nothing to do with it. We've got egg coming in under egg and underwater. Someone could be being boiled. We've got ring coming out here on its side with the belly rubs. This whole ring operation is very vulnerable. And as I said, they're seeing it as not a quirky story that's being told now. They're seeing it as something that is actually reality. We've got the theme, a recurrent theme here with the heart upside down. Then maybe this Aquarius is heartless. Sage. This person is not what they seem. This person needs to clear their heart. Sage is also, when you burn sage, it can trigger seizures as well. So be mindful of that, like we were talking about over here with the essential oils. Choice. On top of receive with the gossip. Slow down on the gossip and what you're saying, perhaps. There's a choice in heirloom. Something that was inherited. Maybe it was this way of protecting themselves. Something that was passed down the line. This person was trying to control what was inherited by someone, how we were talking about in the very opening, as far as maybe someone was given something by their parent and they didn't want their ex to have it because their ex was probably meant to inherit something. compromise again with the friendship. Someone was compromising their friendship. Maybe your friends were compromising their friendship with you. Root. That's being uprooted. This protection. It's almost upside down. Maybe someone was trying to I don't know why I can't think of the word. I mean, uproot your protection, like try to get rid of your protection. Like maybe if you had no connection to the higher power or the Most High, maybe if you gave up your faith and your belief in something, maybe they could disconnect you from that protection of the Most High. We've got face here. Someone needs to face something. We've got spy upside down. And spy is coming on top of your single. Maybe they kept sending in people to spy on you. When you were single, they can't spy on you. Someone real suave with time. Cheese, either smile, you're being watched, or cheese on the binge. Someone may be lactose intolerant. I don't know where that came from. Binging on cheese. Maybe someone was binging on the money, since we've gotten the money card on these cards when we were doing the shuffle. It was all about the money to them. Coffee. It's time to wake up, folks. We've got eyes on you. Change. There's a change in the whole when pigs fly thing. Pigs are flying. Plastic. It's not a fake compromise. They're wanting you to compromise, and you'll be like, you know what? I'm not gonna. No. The agreement that you're trying to get me to do, or the compromise that you're trying me to agree to, is not even real. It's fake. You're not gonna hold up your end. It's clear. Clear is the last card that came out. The compromise is unclear. Even though you can see through plastic, as far as if I don't know why I'm thinking of a water bottle. All right, you guys, that's the end of the cards. Hey Google, can you tell me the date and time, please?
It is Tuesday, April 28th, 2026 at 4:15 p.m.
Thank you. With that being said, thanks for being here. Make it a great day. I'm sorry I can't see the comments, and they won't show up when it processes and posts. So please, if you'd like, go ahead and put your comments back into the comment section when it does get posted. That would be great. That way we can see those. Take care. Make it a great day.